remember sitting still, facing a pen and a sheet of blank paper. I remember my eyes closing. I remember still seeing the light of the paper. I remember she said something like, "Let the pen retrace what you just experienced." I remember sitting still, remembering sitting still with a piece of paper and a pen. I remembered movement. I remembered walking with many bodies through space, crossing agilely in the voids, from feet to intestines to the tip of my fingers. I remember the pen retracing the soft walking. I remember the rough touch of the paper through the pen, or the hard touch of the pen through the paper. I remember feeling dots. I remembered her voice walking around, in front, sideways and back, saying, "I'm not using the word space. I use the word environment instead." I remembered I looked inside, the feeling of crystallization. The pen retraced that. I remember laying on my back, each hand holding the pen and the paper. I remember the feeling of getting in and out. I remembered her voice saying, "Use touch to give yourself sensation." It reminded me of someone. I remembered my pelvic bones touched by the hard floor. I felt roundness. I remember letting my fingers circling with the paper. I remember moving, remembering movements. I remember my legs crossing, my arms crossing, the paper and the pen meeting accidentally. As I remembered my legs crossing, my arms crossing, somewhere in the corner of the space, I remember the satisfaction of discovering by chance movements that happened before. I remember feeling the floor through the pen, through the paper. The pen started to follow the geography of the floor. I remember following the pen moving by itself. This is when I remembered being merged with many bodies, all my movements being submitted to the moving environment, the feeling of being moved, not sensing my own extremities, sensing through other bodies. I remember the pen having a thought on its own. I remembered her voice walking around. She said, "Open your eyes and stay in the experience of touching while seeing." I liked her precision, like swimming, eyes looking through the warm air while the body is immersed in the fresh water. I remember the plastic touch of the pen, eyes closed and seeing the paper, then turning my head to the space, eyes closed, and seeing other bodies busy with papers and pens. I remember the soft pressure of the eyelids on my eyes. I remember the pen pressing hard the paper until its ultimate resistance. As I remembered my arm being stretched out by a hand, I remember the paper broke with a feeling of release in my lungs. I remembered the whole space coming to a stillness. I remember the paper suspended over the pen. I remember she said something about coming to a closure and opening the eyes. I remember seeing the paper standing up with small black marks of ink, the pen laying down on its side. I liked their stillness, while feeling the remembering activity, keeping moving inside. I remember a woman coming to me. She said, she drew with a pen for a long time, with her eyes closed, sitting still the whole time in full concentration, head over her paper. Only the pen was moving, she said. When she opened her eyes, the paper was blank. She said it made her day